right, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome again to the special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Earlier on, we told you that we'll be having a special interview session with the governor of Abia State, Dr. Victor Okezie. Of course, he is here, and like I told you, it's 39 days, 19 hours, 1 minute, 53 seconds to the 2023 general election. And what we do here is to look at issues as they have panned out over the last 4 years running right now. So it is my pleasure to introduce you. My name first. I am Ginika Olwa. I've reported for duty as always. And the number one citizen of Abia State is here talking about Dr. Victor Okezie. Good afternoon, Your Excellency, and welcome to the studios of Flow 94.9 FM.
Thank you, Ginika, and very good afternoon, Abia.
Well, I think I should just start by commending you for choosing Flow 94.9 FM to interact with the people of Abia State. It shows that you are media-friendly governor. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Your Excellency, it's almost 8 years as a governor of Abia State. Looking back in time, you said in your New Year message that you will be living a better Abia. What are those things you think the people should remember you for by May 29 when you must have exited the stage?
Thank you very, very much. It's been a very exciting moment serving Abia. I count it a rare privilege. I give God the glory, and many thanks to Abia people for the confidence reposed on me to serve. Having said that, I would want to be remembered for a few things, and I will leave many in the hands of Abians to decide in future. But first of all, I think that every Abian will be happy that we've had 8 years of very stable socio-political environment. And wherever you see peace, it means that there is the presence of God there, and then God is happy with leadership. That is why the peace we enjoy in Abia is pervasive. The second one is relative security. We have become an oasis in a desert. If you go to Abia or you come to Umuahia on weekends, you see that all hotels are fully booked. People are migrating from our neighboring states to take refuge in Abia State because of the relative peace they enjoy here. And this has enhanced trade, commerce, and all kinds of economic activities. And here again, we don't take it for granted, and I give God the glory because I would not want to misappropriate what ordinarily should be God's mercy and grace upon us, His children. But beyond that, I know that people will be looking at some of the promises I made in 2015, and I want people to pull my inaugural speech and pull out my manifesto and put it side by side and look at our interventions. To God be the glory. I may not have achieved everything, but I am happy to say that at least we have made considerable inroad into almost all facets of Abia economy as we enunciated in that document. I give you a few examples.
Okay.
In education, we have done 700 classroom blocks, and this is verifiable. And we started the free meal initiative even before the federal government. And many people may ask, what is the socio-economic impact of this free meal? And I take them back to what the World Bank said about education. Anybody who spends more than 25% of his income on school fees and the education of his children, that family cannot be said to be financially comfortable. So what it means is that we must do something about our public schools. And our strategy was straightforward. One, do something about school infrastructure, and that is why we did the 700. do something about teachers' capacity building, and that was why we established the Continuing Education Center for Teachers here. We were the first state that brought in people from outside Nigeria, from Australia, from Bangladesh to come and teach and retrain our teachers at the primary school level. If you recall, a certain state in north central part of Nigeria had teachers who could not do the arithmetic of primary 4. So we didn't want that scenario here, and we brought people to retrain our teachers, and our teachers are even ICT compliant, because at some point they got gifts of iPads and tablets where the school curriculum was embedded. But coming with the free school meal, we needed to put back our children from private schools to public schools. Some of these private schools are good, but a lot of them are also not good enough for goats. Talk less of having them as places of study for our children.
Okay.
And to reverse this trend, this free school meal did the magic. I inherited 150,000 pupils in public schools, but today I'm sure we have over 700,000 students in public schools. And we have sustained it, we have continued to do it. But in providing free meals, we have employed over 5,300 meal vendors, women who are involved in this, and that has put food on the tables of many families in Abia. We have migrated to digital learning. We brought in machines that could teach over 120 subjects, including vocational education, and we pioneered with an education institute in India to do that, and we are pioneering that in our model schools. We have 4 model schools which we built also among the 700 classroom blocks that I mentioned earlier. Again, I'm excited about the fact that Abia State government is perhaps the only government. I understand that Enugu has just keyed in now. That not only did we bring back to life our scholarship board, but I have over 50 Abia youths studying abroad on the 1-year scholarship of state government. The state government arranged the institutions, the admissions, paid the initial tuition, got tickets, got visa, and got them there, and also secured opportunity for them to work while they go to school. And I feel so excited that I was able to do that. We have 50 of those students in Australia. We have 11 in India. I think we have 1 or 2 in UK, and so on and so forth. So it's over 50 actually that we have. And before the expiration of this tenure in May, I think we'll be able to add 10 or 15 more students abroad as our token parting gift to our youth. Beyond that, under SME, this government is the only government in recent history that has built 2 industries. The Enasco, Enyimba Automated Shoe Factory, is up and running, and we've just received good news that the garment equipment for the garment factory is in Apapa Wharf, and we have started the process of clearing it.
Okay.
So very soon we will be commissioning the automated garment factory also side by side with the shoe factory. And you know that the garment and shoe subsector is our strongest point. And beyond this, we have done massive capacity building, sending our youth to China to go and learn how to use these machines to do shoes. And we have also provided avenue for sustained funding, and that gave birth to the Abia Microfinance Bank, SME Microfinance Bank, which has a mandate of supporting traders, petty traders, small and medium scale enterprises, and small scale manufacturing, to provide all the funding needs they may have, and also to function as a liaison between them, the cooperative societies, and the Central Bank of Nigeria, to see how we can trap funds for their use. And still along that line, I discovered that power was a a major limiting factor, especially in our Abia area where we have a cluster of these SME entities. And we have worked hard to make sure that Geometrics is on board now. And people who reside around Abia will tell you that they enjoy better, steady, and more stable power supply. And we are still waiting for Geometrics to ignite the Rolls-Royce turbines, which are ready, so that we can bid permanent farewell to power outages in that subsector. And a culmination of all of these factors has won us many, many accolades, part of which is the pronouncement coming from no less a person than Mr. Vice President himself, when he said that Abia State was indeed the SME capital of Nigeria. And at some point, if you remember, I think the second quarter of 2022, Abia was number 3 in terms of foreign direct investment in this country. And that is also very, very important to us. So when you go to infrastructure, we have done and completed over 150 roads, including the one that is almost tying up now, the Abaro Dumahia and the Boro Abrebam Boro Road, and other roads across Abia, totaling 150, and 3 bridges, including the very, very popular Osisioma flyover. So then you go to health. This is the first government that established a dedicated health facility for child and mother. It's on Bende Road in Umuahia here. And we also have our geriatric outreach to take care of our old, aged ones. We have a functional Abia emergency service, ambulance service that responds to health emergencies 247. And again, but the most important one to my mind is the Abia Telehealth Initiative, which was launched since 2016. I understand the federal government is beginning to come around to that now. We've been running that, meaning that we have almost 300 primary health care centers keyed into our telehealth initiative. And indeed, I was excited when I saw a publication in a British academic journal giving accolades to that initiative, and in fact describing it, and I quote, that was a smart initiative to deepen healthcare delivery service in sub-Saharan Africa. And that is talking about the Abia Telehealth Initiative or Abia Dialogue Initiative. So I can go on and on and on agriculture, and also, so I have many things for which I am grateful to God that yes, we may not have done everything, but we have certainly moved from where we were to a better place. And finally, my parting gift to Ndabia will be a brand new government house. I was there last week, and I'm resisting a very strong temptation to even go there again today. The Abia Health Village will come on board. Abia Health Village will come on board, which is a multi-story health facility that will be focused on kidney and heart problems. Then the ultra-modern laboratory covering the entire Abia North at Isukwato building has been completed, equipment procured, that will be ready. So these are some of the things that people will see in the days ahead. And I'm happy to say that even as I speak, we were working on our roads till 30th of December last year, and we resumed on the 4th of January, and we'll keep working until 29th of May. Thank you.
Okay, Your Excellency, well initiated there, but I would like to take you back to the issue of security you talked about. We'll be wondering, what is the magic behind all that? Would it be a kind of dialogue between the people that perceive to be doing this, or procurement of equipment for security agencies? What exactly did you do? Because when you look around, Enugu is having security issue, Imo, Anambra, and some states in Southeast. At least you can share so that your colleagues, governors, can tap one or two ideas to make Southeast secure.
First of all, don't look too far. Go to the Bible. When the righteous is in power, the people will rejoice. That is one. Two, I really, really do not like to appropriate to myself the credit of the ambience and the security we enjoy in Abia. I give God all the glory. But we've done a few things. One of them is that I am a proponent of what people would like to call informed leadership or evidence-based leadership or scientific leadership. And you may know that I have already set up a center for scientific leadership. Scientific leadership is that you must be sure of the diagnosis of the problem before you begin to profile solutions based on knowledge. So here we did a quick study of what our problem is, and we rated the crimes, based on frequency. So our major crime, the one they call unknown gunmen, kidnapping, armed robbery, burglary, murder. At some point, when we were looking at the profile, we saw that murder, domestic violence, was taking number 2 or something. So we needed to do something there. Okay. So what we have done differently is that, what is the issue about the agitation in the Southeast? And what is the philosophy of the state towards this? The philosophy of the state is that, yes, there is marginalization. Nobody can deny that. There are issues that our people are complaining about. We are not in the mainstream of Nigerian politics, and we feel excluded. That is the truth. That is the truth. We cannot deny it. We can't hide behind a finger. But question is, if that is true, what is the way forward? And we are saying, okay, can we adjust our strategy? Or can we have a plan B? But that is not me saying that I am denying the fact that everything is okay for the Igbo man or for the Southeasterner. That is not true. And anybody who pretends as if there is no marginalization, or what some people are saying or talking about is a lie, will wake up to meet the same problem, and his children will face the same problem. So that is about that. So I am not questioning the fact that is there, but what we are discussing or what we are talking about is strategy to make sure that we achieve the same thing and say the same thing. Then the second one is that you need to equip the law enforcement officer. So fighting crime is a has multi-pronged approach to it if you want to achieve results. In the first place, you must be able to equip the police. You must be able to deepen intelligence. You must be able to show leadership to the point that there is complete synergy and harmony among the service chiefs, so that the DSS does what it needs to do, the police leads out what it needs, the way it needs to lead out, and the military supports the way it needs to support. Everybody is on the same page. For instance, about 10 p.m. yesterday evening, there was a breach. Around Osokwa.
Okay.
And so when I got the information, because I belong to the same platform with my service chiefs and we see each other, if we don't have anything to say, just to test the microphone, we say hi. The governor will say hi, and everybody say, Governor, we see you. So I know everybody's awake. So when I got that information, I relayed that information raw on that platform, and I said, ignite all divisional police officers, all men on patrol, the military and whatever. Then, because I know where that is happening, I said, can people around Omoma, our border between Osisioma and Omoma, be on alert? Because I can predict where they may be heading to, if anything. So in 2-3 hours, they abandoned the crime and had to take to their heels. So we recovered the vehicle and everything. So I am on top of my game, and everybody is awake. In fact, at some point, I was waiting to get a feedback from one particular service chief, and I started complaining, I can't see this person. And his colleague said, we are reaching him now. So this is what it is. I have to be, and many people have forgotten that we have an information center in Government House that enables us to see all parts of Abia State on Google Map. So a combination of all of this, and added to the fact that when we came with an irresistible philosophy and template for development. You cannot run away from doing trade and commerce and giving impetus to SME development. That is where we have over 1 million people occupying themselves. So if you don't do anything there, you'll be accentuating the unemployment profile of Abia State. But if you do something, you will take many people out of the unemployment. And then, so all of this, provision of job, provision of opportunities, better infrastructure, proactive crime management devices, putting everybody on his toe, and then provision of logistics for law enforcement officers, constant review of strategies, going ahead of time to see who is doing what, and then we have gatekeepers in all our communities. If somebody is on our wanted list and you appear in any of those communities, I have people that will tell us that you have come back. And then we also did something a little bit innovative when we were launching our Ebubago. Many people do not know we have Ebubago here. But my Ebubago is not the media Ebubago. I'm not interested in coming to the media to take photograph with Ebubago because you can't arm them. Are you sending Ebubago to go after their kinsmen? I didn't send the Ebubago people to go after AK-47 carrying people because if I set up a team to fight against his brother, then who will do the burial? I will do the burial. So that is not the philosophy behind Ebubago is, we have herdsmen. These herdsmen are in the forest. They are common enemy to all of us. So don't chase people that have not asked you to chase. Climb your palm tree, climb your raffia palm tree. Look out for things like Indomie sachet, pure water sachet, whatever you see in the forest that is not supposed to be in the forest. Let us know so that we can go back to that area and see what's happening there. Is anybody living in our forest? And we will take steps. We've not been able to secure Abia the way we want to secure Abia. But you know that security is an ongoing business. It's not something, there is no place in this world that is 100% secure. So we'll continue to work at it, we'll continue to improve, but we are in a place where we have good reason to give God the glory.
Okay, probably, Your Excellency, you can as well focus on Ohafia and Umunochi area where you have the border between Ihube or Kigwe area. You know that we normally have security challenges within that axis. And once it's not curbed, of course, it's going to spill over to our area, probably Isukwato or Umunochi.
No, it really started in Umunochi, not Umunochi, in Isukwato. You remember at a point we were having problem opening our university there, but I thank God that we have nipped that problem. It's not as bad as it used to be. So the criminal elements moved towards Umunochi, and that Ihube axis.
Yeah.
So that particular crime has origin in the fact that if you look at it, Abia has 7 states bordering it. So people move in from other states, commit a crime here, and move back to where they came from. And whenever you see a community in a neighboring state where civil authority has completely collapsed and broken down, that community becomes a threat to the nearest community in Abia. So that is what you see in some of those places you mentioned outside Abia. All evidences of civil authority has collapsed. Police stations burnt. So you don't see anything there. And so people now, these hoodlums now, take over those areas and make a safe haven out of that. So what we try to do is to see if we can get collaboration. So we are doing all we can. At some point, we brought the Air Force to do some reconnaissance flight around that area. I will not tell you the next thing we are going to do, but we won't keep quiet. We are watching closely. Ohafi is becoming a little bit quiet. If we work hard a little bit on Ohafia, we can sort it out clearly. But in all of these, we need the cooperation of the locals. We need the cooperation of the people. The results we get from Isukwato today and the Uturu axis is as a result of cooperation we have received from local vigilante, the hunters, the traditional rulers from that area. You can't effectively secure any place if the people there are accomplices to the crime. That is the issue.
Okay, now moving on, Your Excellency, are there other areas you feel your administration can improve on or do better? Is probably you're giving like one more year, to your administration, especially when one listened to your New Year message, where you actually admitted that there are challenges within the pension administration sector. What is the way forward in other areas you feel the administration has not really done well?
Yes. I thank God I am somebody who is quick to admit whenever I have an issue, because I never promised anybody that I was going to be able to do everything. But I just said I was going to do my level best, and that is what I'm doing. The pension problem is an ongoing problem, inherited, and unfortunately we could not lay our hands on sufficient resources to completely solve the problem. Unfortunately, again, people like to politicize it, but that is rather is neither here nor there. But having said that, we preferred solution in that my New Year address and said that we are happy that we have migrated to the National Pension Management Platform. What it means is that very soon, since we have keyed into that, the pension issues will become a thing of the problem. The pension problem is a hydra-headed problem, starting with those who work in pension board, because there is no politician that is capable of padding pension. Those who are capable of padding the pension are those who prepare the vouchers for government to pay. I remember when I became governor here, the first payment vouchers for salaries they brought to me was about 2.7 billion, and so we paid 2.7 billion for a few months, but got to a point and they said, let us get the BVN of all my workers. By asking for BVN, the thing crashed to 2.1. So who was stealing 600 million every month? So that is why many civil servants don't even want to go on pension, because they've messed up the prospects of a glorious retirement by what they do, padding and over padding and changing figures and all of that. So, but with this migration to the National Pension Management Platform now, I think it will be a little more difficult, because they do very serious forensics and do data management before they begin. So it's very unfortunate. It is everybody's problem, caused by everybody. But I think that the future is brighter because we have done the needful in that regard.
Maybe before we go on a break, I think we should also look at the issue of salary payment within parastatals, and another area of concern. That's the issue of salary payment. When you listen to maybe some of your aides or government appointees, they will say that we have core civil servants, we have the ones that are in parastatals, and when you check, you see that these ones working in the parastatals are being owed, but the ones they tagged core civil servants, they are regular, especially those ones that work in the ministry. What is the problem, Your Excellency?
The problem is that I as an individual, I'm the son of a teacher. I don't put money inside a pocket that has hole. If I have 4 pockets in my trouser now, if I discover that any of those pockets have hole there, I won't put my money there. If you give me money, I look for a pocket that doesn't have hole and put it. I won't put it in the one. So if you are managing an institution that generates 1.5 billion a year, and this 1.5 billion you don't pay it into government coffers as IGR, and you don't account to government for it, and in addition to the 1.5 billion you collect, government also gives you subvention of 100 million every month, and that is 1.2 billion, and you come out and say that you cannot pay salary. Meanwhile, you hire at will, you fire at will. If, for instance, you are the rector of a higher institution and you decide to hire Professor Wole Soyinka to come and teach you literature or teach your students literature, you have to be ready to pay Professor Wole Soyinka. I didn't send you to hire him. So if you are not careful about how you look at the whole issue, somebody can be busy with a pin putting holes on your balloon and you are here inflating the balloon. At what point will you be able to fill that balloon? The answer is no point. At no point you will never be able to, because somebody is just busy with a pin, punching holes. So it calls for prudence, it calls for fiscal management, it calls for better alignment of your priorities. Because I remember in those days, as a lecturer, when it's time to recruit, the vice chancellor and the leadership of the school will look at the kind of money they have and they will decide to say, well, we will go to India, because lecturers coming from India at that time were cheaper than lecturers coming from England. If they choose to go to England to go and bring professors from England, they must be able to pay the Englishman. But they will prefer to go to India and Bangladesh and get very knowledgeable professors also, but perhaps with cheaper wage expectation. And that is the way to manage. You must look at the financial balance sheet and see what you can do and what you cannot do. So I cannot stay here and take over the responsibility that should have ordinarily been. But then somebody said, Mr. Governor, why won't you sack the rector, assuming, or the head of parastatal? And I said, well, there are rules to everything. For a higher institution, there are laws setting up those higher institutions. And if you want to change, as visitor to the institution, if you want to change leadership, you have to go through a process. And that is the beauty of democracy. So our people expect fiat of a military administration on the one hand, but on the other hand, they expect the glamour and finesse and beautiful thing that comes with democracy, the process that comes with democracy. But if you're a true Democrat, you must be able to discipline yourself, irrespective of how enthusiastic you may be or how angry or sad you may be. You must ventilate your anger within the confines of the law and what the books say. So it is not as easy as turning on a switch and turning off a switch. If I was the governor, I would have sacked. It is not as easy as that. So I think that most higher institutions and most parastatals are migrating to a point where they have become a little bit more stable. I was once the general manager of Abia State Passengers Manifest Scheme. That is a government parastatal. No subvention is given. I had over 400 workers, which I was paying at that time. But in addition to that, the then chairman, Inland Revenue Service of Abia State, challenged me one day in a meeting in the office of the then Commissioner for Finance and said to me, you must pay revenue to government from next month. It has never been done before. So I had to go back to my management and say, we have a new assignment. We have to up our game now. We were able to, for the first time in history, pay revenue back to the state and also pay salary. It means it is possible. So this is the scenario I am looking at, that some of these parastatals will begin to find a way to migrate to a point where they can manage themselves, be disciplined enough not to bring everybody from their village to come and become a staff, even when they are not doing anything there. If not for anything, for the purposes of paying salary. And the expectation is not only paying salary. After paying salary, I expect some intervention and contribution and value addition to what is happening in the state.
Okay, if you're just joining us, this is the special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion, and my guest has been the governor of Abia State, His Excellency Dr. Victor Okezie. As we are looking at issues of governance as he has held sway in almost about 8 years running right now. And we'll take a breather to allow the governor to take a glass of water. When we come back, we'll enter into politics of PDP of Abia State. It is political time. This is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the program. It's still the special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion, and we are looking at the issue of governance in Abia State. My guest is the governor of Abia State, Dr. Victor Okezie. Welcome back to the program, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now you have the mandate of your party, the PDP, to go to the Senate. Tell us, how has the campaigns been so far? I know you've been going from one ward to the other, local government and so on. How has the reception been so far?
Well, the reception has been overwhelming. I don't deceive myself. I am a realist, and I'm excited with the joy I see in the faces of my people. I've been to the 6 local governments, and in fact, some local governments I've been there more than twice. And we just had a little break for planning and re-strategizing from Saturday, Sunday, and today. Then from tomorrow, we will roll out our phase 2, and I promise that we'll be on the road till the end of time, because I don't take it for granted, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing.
Okay, you are up against your own brother, Senator Abaribe, who has been there in the Senate for several years running now. Do you see him as a threat, going into this election?
I don't see him as a threat, but Abaribe is a very experienced man. But in this case, he's up against something that is beyond what he can maneuver, because my job is just to make the campaign issue-based. Like I say in my slogan, this is time to show all working. And luckily, for every place I go to, I have something to show. And I'm humble enough to admit the things I've not been able to do, because I never promised anybody that I was going to do everything. But I am proud of the things that I have done so far, and the people are excited with it. So therefore, I will remain on track, and that'll be it. I'm confident that we'll win this election with a landslide.
Okay, now let's talk about politics of PDP and the G5 integrity governors, which you are a member of that particular group. You said in one of your interviews that the integrity governor's philosophy is beyond 2023. So we have the first 39 days ahead of the election, and you are yet to take a stand. Has your group resolved with Atiku Abubakar?
Well, the first part of your question answers the second one. Because it is beyond 2023, meaning that it is even beyond Atiku Abubakar.
Okay.
The question, what has brought about the position of the G5 is, first of all, this is a country that has there's a clear distinction between the North and the South. And I wasn't there the day the founders of PDP put it in the constitution that we were going to do zoning between North and South and all of that. And so G5 said, okay, if we have this kind of thing, can we? But in politics, immediately a candidate emerges, you are duty bound as a loyal party man to support your candidate. And that is why we have not left PDP. And but we said, okay, there is an agreement between the national chairman and the people of the South to say, if a candidate emerges from the North, and that was when they jettisoned the zoning, if candidate emerges from the North, can you return the chairmanship position to the South? And that was agreed upon. And so we also demanded and said, okay, we will stay with the PDP candidate and support him all the way, because we are party people. But now, let us have a party chairman here. That it won't look nice, even for the purposes of our campaigning in the South. What do we tell our people here? So 39 days is a lot of time in politics. I still hope that The fact that the G5 have not said that they are not supporting Atiku or that they are supporting any of these other presidential candidates is an indication of the fact that we are still hopeful that within 39 days that could happen. But ultimately, Nigerians are gradually aligning and realigning and taking steps. I do not pretend that what I say or what I want done is automatically going to be what will happen. I'm not God, no. And I don't have that power, and I don't pretend to be God. But I have just succeeded in putting it on record for the annals of history in Nigeria that there was a time a man called Okezie was governor in Nigeria and in a party called PDP, and that when it came to decide between North and South, that he insisted that, oh God, this is the turn of the South. Even as my voice has been heard, but my will may not be done. But I want it to be on history that that was what I said at that time. It doesn't matter to me what happens eventually, and I'm not going to harass anybody to take any decision either way. But you will not see me campaigning against Atiku Abubakar because I'm a party man, I'm a PDP man, I remain in PDP. So the philosophy of the G5 is about a country where there is mutual respect. The North will be respected just as the South will be respected. When a country where whatever is your due is given to you. I became governor here because of God's benevolence and the grace of Abia. Assuming it was survival of the fittest, I wouldn't have become governor. So I am also duty bound to support a system that will offer opportunity for even the seemingly weak. So that if I don't speak out in support of a system that can guarantee equal opportunity for the woman, for the youth, for the weak, for the cripple, for the voiceless, if I cannot speak out for them, then I would have undermined the very basis upon which God made me governor in 2015. I have done my job, and I will end with a proverb. You see, nwa ọkụkọ egbevu ya dị eti ọ dịghị iti isi tọ egbe hafia ọ dị iti te elu nụrụ ala nụrụ. Thank you.
Okay, now, Your Excellency, before we open the phone lines, the next question will be, I know you've been championing the cause of PDP in Abia State, going by your campaigns and all that. Now, Abians are really bothered by the absence of Professor Uche Ikonne, who is the governorship candidate of your party, the PDP. Don't you think it will affect the chances of the PDP by his absence?
Oh, no. Oh, no. You remember that the time we had the biggest rally that has happened here in Umuahia, when the G5 governors came to flag off our campaigns here. Professor Ikonne was there. He was there in the gala, very fit. The gala that was held in honor of the G5 governors in my house, till 2 a.m. So, when he came for that rally, he was able just to manage to give a speech, and then he took ill. No other governor has mounted the podium before such a mamman crowd. No other gubernatorial candidate has mounted the podium before such a mamman crowd in Abia up till now. And it's unfortunate that he is a little bit indisposed, but I want to report some progress. And the progress is that Professor Ikonne is recovering gradually and progressively. He has left hospital and he's going through convalescence. I am sure that he'll be strong enough in future to join. But be that as it may, PDP is a very, very powerful party. There is no other party that has the kind of strong. As I speak, we are going back to our ward campaigns again. No party can call a ward meeting in all the 184 wards of Abia State. Some of them may have supporters in 1 or 2 local governments, but across Abia, they can't put 100 people across Abia. So we're going back to speak to our people and to keep hope alive. The man will bounce back sooner or later. So we don't want it to define the progress of our campaign or our agenda or the program of the party going forward. It may be the wish of our detractors that it couldn't. In fact, I remember a few years ago when I took ill, some people started rejoicing that they started changing permutation, what they will do, who will become speaker, who will become this and that. All of them, they started, and I'm sure they even appropriated my wife to themselves, hoping and praying that I would disappear. But I didn't disappear. So the power of life and death resides squarely on God, and I thank God for that. If people had the authority to give life, it will be terrible. So I want to assure you that it will not affect us negatively.
Okay, it's just time for us to actually open the phone line so you can be part of this discussion. I've been speaking with the governor of Abia State, His Excellency Dr. Victor Okezie, as he has said a whole lot as regards to his performance over the last 7 years and his intention before he leave office in May 2023. It's time for me to turn the microphone to you and make it yours by calling us 080-8182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. You can also send your SMS at 090-651-08289. Need I remind you that please, this is a civil discussion and we must be civil in our submission here on Flow 94.9 FM. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, welcome.
I greet my excellence.
I greet you, my brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your program a lot. Okay? I've only been here in Abia, so I just came in for holiday. I'm happy hearing the voice of the governor.
Thank you.
Abia State. Okay, but the truth that I still have one or two things to ask him, although he has been the governor for about 8 years. Okay. The little thing I want to ask about the roads. I have traveled around Nigeria for the almost the 6 states of this country. I have gone around, and I think my state, Abia State, has one of the most roads. I think so because I've gone around.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, where are you in Abia?
I'm in here right now.
Okay, can you name the street? Let me see how bad it is.
Ubakala, the road to my place is bad. I'll use an example from states that I have been to get, like Akwa Ibom, Lagos, although Lagos and Gosi,
Okay.
like that, but Akwa Ibom.
Okay.
I should name some. Yeah,
Okay.
better.
Okay.
Name some again, yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
Let me just say this. Ubakala is not the only enclave in Abia. And I don't know if you saw a road that leads to Ubakala before now. If you knew it and you know it now, you will know that something has started happening. Around Ubakala, I did the road in Mbarakuma. It's a ring road, and we are doing another road around the house of the secretary to government. I don't know the name of that road now. In Ubakala alone, I'm doing 2 roads. If Ubakala alone, among all the villages in Abia, we get 2 roads, then it means that something is happening. Rome was not built in a day. It has a little bit of patience. The place you went to, Akwa Ibom, could be Uyo. I've also been to parts of Akwa Ibom without road. So
Okay.
if you're a little bit objective, you will know that something has changed from what it used to be.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Guinea Kaoloha.
Good afternoon, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Owakwechi Debere. I'm representing for my in Bende LG. Good afternoon, My Excellency.
Good afternoon, my brother.
God bless you, sir. So I really want to thank you on the efforts you've been able to put as it has to do with governance. I want to remind Abians that you happens to be the one that was able to do that Afibeji. around the Odumahia, if you're going to Obakala and all the rest of them. I want to say kudos to you. Thank you, my governor.
Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you, sir. I also want to thank you, sir. I gave you a complaint as it has to do with Okezie Bridge. Okay. My Excellency, I want to tell Abians today that bridge has been taken care of by you.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, sir.
Hallelujah.
I appreciate. Thank you. God bless you, sir. Despite the fact that we will also still ask for more, like Oliver Twist will always do.
Okay.
I want to tell Nde Abia that governance in Abia State is a continuum. Yes. Professor Elias Ikonne will certainly do far more better than you've done.
Yes.
We don't need people who are learning in the system. Like you are going to the Senate. We don't need senators that will be bringing fertilizer during the dry season. When the rainy season, they will run away. Thank you. Right. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Chidebere, for calling. Hello. Good. Okay, the numbers to call are 080-8182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Good Excellency Pastor. Now what's up?
Now from.
I am the.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Gineka.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir, Mr. Gineka.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon,
Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Ifeanyi Levi. I'm calling you from Umuawa in Umuapara.
Okay.
Governor, I'm sorry, Joto, potentially, also Umuawa no Umuapara. I'm 12 years ago. I have to take a break light.
Okay, I think when next you call, just move away from your radio set so that we can have a better conversation. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Emma China Onoha from Akami, but I'm calling from Abia this morning.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon, Emma.
My own is kind of Ekele.
Thank you.
Because particularly the hinterlands of Abia,
yeah.
I want to put it on record that for the first time, Anna Boza Abba Manodumre Manokoch, courtesy of what you did on Ibere Road, Arando, Aja Road, Ibadan Street.
God bless you.
And others I cannot remember now.
God bless you.
As make a leg say, Jiden Kijisa. You should tend Dama Monga we had easy for over 30 something years. I'm on Naba, Leto, Umuyabuabanum Bobera, Let Chete, side down. Matawagi Bikosa. Only how will I mean, everybody call her so Ahuji, Mozo, Baha Forono, Nadata Mammo. Only I get Metra this dry season.
Okay.
Just like Oliver Twist.
Thank you.
We can only ask for more. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, China.
Which road did he mention?
Amamong. He said
he mentioned one road in particular. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see if we can take another call now. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
It's Ikpeazu calling from Umaya.
Welcome, Ikpeazu. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Excellency.
Good afternoon, Ike.
You are one of the governors in the southeast I respect so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And your performance so far, I think, is very good.
Thank you very much.
And I also, as a Democrat, if you can and the Abians decide otherwise, I will also want you as a Democrat to respect the decision of Abians.
No problem.
Yeah. And also that this road, you have done well in the other aspect of constructions. I think since 1999, you have best performed in terms of constructions. But there this road that people might complain. This Umobia estate.
Umobia.
This Umaya here.
Okay.
Umobia. That road is nothing to write home about. In fact, you would doubt if you are in the state capital.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
okay. Thank you so much, Ikpeazu. Let's take another call now. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
My
My name is Ikpeazu.
Ikpeazu, I didn't get your second name.
Ikpeazu.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, my governor.
Good afternoon.
I want to first of all commend the governor for his infrastructure development. For the first time in the history of Abia, people did not sleep at Osisioma Junction there during the Xmas period. So I was able to go to Abia several times to do one or two things, and each time I go to Abia, I was so shocked that the movement of vehicle was so free and nobody was complaining of any kind of traffic. I give kudos to the governor. Secondly, I also remember that before 2015, I was living in Abia, and each time we go to Waterside, as is that Okezie and the rest of them, we used to park at Waterside because there was no entrance to Okezie, Omola, Ehere, and all those other areas in Obo Hill. I want to commend the governor that today the story has changed totally. Now people living at Okezie can easily go, and it's easy for people to forget whenever they get this kind of respite. Yeah. And what it means is that we are really developing. Thank you very much, Governor.
And God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Excellency. I don't know if you have anything to want to react to those ones they've raised the issue of the roads construction.
Well, I just had somebody say something about Umwapra. We are doing a road called Umwapra Ring Road.
Okay.
We are doing it in phases. We have completed the first phase, and we are about to mobilize the contractor for the second phase. But I want to tell my people that all I want them to see is our heart and our desire to keep pushing. We cannot do everything, and the time is just 8 years. And incidentally, you wanted to say something, and I don't want extension of even one week in that 8 years. I just want to, hand over hand, be on my way, because it's not, governance is not a tea party. You won't sleep. I don't think I've gone to my bed anytime earlier than 2 a.m. since I became governor. And I have other things I'm doing. I just finished my book in biochemistry. I've been writing that book for 10 years. And so I push myself to 5 a.m. every morning. And I have to work by 7 every day because I have an alarm. So I don't think I need to grind my life that way beyond the 8 years I've given already. But I am sure that we have put Abia on a path of sustainable development, and it is irreversible, because I'm handing over a master plan for Aba, Umuahia, and Ohafia, which I'm doing with UN Habitat. I'm handing over the Abia State Long-Term Development Plan, which was never there before, to the next governor, and these are going to form very, very important tools in his hands to develop Abia. I'm sure that with the cooperation of Ndabia, we will continue to rise. If you look at the multidimensional poverty index, Abia is the third best state in Nigeria. So, I mean, this is World Bank. It's not about what people, political hirelings would say. These are verifiable World Bank statistics. This government, in the past 7 years, has reduced infant and maternal mortality by 71%, acknowledged by World Bank. So it's empirical. It's not something that, and these are the key ingredients of economic development. And I'm happy that the World Bank has so acknowledged. But before the end of this month, I'll be inviting Abians to join me as I collect the Sun Newspaperman of the Year award, which is also an endorsement. What a way to close a glorious chapter, of my life as governor of Abia State. I'm indeed very happy. I think I'll find time also to come back and thank Ndabia officially, and then give a comprehensive account of my stewardship on a later date. But today, suffice it to say that so far so good. Thank you very much.
Okay, Your Excellency, before you leave, I think I should just read this text message to you. The administration has done well by setting up their diagnostic center in Isukwato, but there is no road accessing that diagnostic center, meaning that the people of Isukwato will also want you to do something in the area of road. When you check the one from Noya, Iluama is bad. Another one from Umuahia to Akara is also bad. And I don't know if they can go through all the way to Okigwe to access.
No. We will first things first. We will do everything. That diagnostic lab there is going to serve the entire Abia North because it's huge. I don't want our people in the general hospital at Ohofia to take their samples to Umuahia for diagnosis because time is of the essence when you talk about diagnose. If you diagnose quickly and the doctor understands what's happening quickly, he can bring Medicare quickly also and save lives. So I think that something will be done to create access to the location of that diagnostic lab. Beyond that, the philosophy of development is that you must find an anchor. If that diagnostic lab becomes an anchor that will attract, or a nectar that will attract other kinds of development, road will come, regular power will come, other things will begin to happen as a result of the functionality of that diagnostic lab. So we have a very strong vision in that regard.
Okay. Before you leave the studio, Okezie Ukoma. Okay, I saw you. I can see you here. Chris Anucha, thank you so much for your messages on Facebook. Chisom Henry Oji, thank you. Chia Gozie, thank you so much. And to all of you who called in and your messages on Facebook, thank you so much. May God bless you. Let me sincerely thank His Excellency, the Governor of Abia State, Dr. Victor Okezie Ikpeazu, for finding time to speak with us and speak to Abians through Flow 94.9 FM. Thank you, Your Excellency. And thank you also that there's a program running here, Executive Brief, that is sponsored by the Office of the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor. It's aired every Friday, 9:30 a.m. Thank you so much for allowing that program to run here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
People of management and staff of Flow and Abia. Proper half. No.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Okay, I will see you again on Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the